Hi everybody, Jason here, and today we're going to be doing another book review. So, last time I reviewed the Star Wars Bloodline, and that was a sort of prequel to Episode 7. This, that I'm going to review today, is Star Wars Lords of the Sith. So this is a book that takes place after Episode 3 and before Episode 4. I want to say that this is about like 8 years after the end of Episode 3. Vader is obviously like planted in his position beside Emperor Palpatine, and Emperor Palpatine and him are working at basically subjugating the entire galaxy and bending them to their will. I'm going to first off preface this by saying that while this book, I really do believe it is a good book, it's not necessarily the type of story that I like. Bloodline was definitely right up my alley because it was kind of mystery, suspense, very slow burn, but still nice mystery in there, and you had to sort of like figure it out. With this one, I found it extremely, it was extremely predictable. And it's not just the fact that it takes place focusing on Emperor Palpatine and Darth Vader and a group of people that are out to kill them. It's not that it's not that I know that Vader and Emperor will survive. It's just the fact that every single action that they do, I saw it in my mind chapters ahead of time. And it's like the ending didn't really surprise me. I didn't mind reading through to the ending. I actually, I found that I picked up my pace very much after like the halfway point when things started actually sort of falling together for the characters in the book. But before that, it wasn't holding my interest. It seemed odd and weird, and it seemed out of place with the typical Star Wars book. Now, I don't know if this is just because it focuses so heavily on dark side users. And don't get me wrong, I've read dark side focused books like Darth Plagueis and stuff like that, but those books, they actually, again, they did very well. And I don't know if that's just because those ones focused on characters that, hadn't really been introduced. There wasn't very much lore about them. It's touching on subject that you don't know about. And so that's why they stuck out to me more. But anyway, let me just go into a little bit of specifics about this. So this one, Lords of the Sith, it was written by Paul S. Kemp. And again, this is a release that happened after the start of the new canon. So this is included in the new canon itself. It was a New York Times bestseller, and I completely see why. The writing is very good, and they convey the message very well. It's a very descriptive book, but it's nowhere near as descriptive as, say, like Tolkien, but it definitely gets the point of what it's actually showing to you across, and I get a lot of those mental images, which is really good. I like that in my books. The big thing about it is the main plot line is there's the planet Ryloth, which is the home world of a lot of Twi'leks, and basically they're being used for slave labor, and also the planet is being mined for spice, which the Empire is using for research as far as drugs and medicines, and also other scientific or I forget, technological type avenues. But anyway, that's the basic gist. Everything is centered around the planet Ryloth, and then you have a group of Twi'leks led by Cham Syndulla, and then his cohort Isfal, and then they have an Imperial contact by the name of, I think it's like Dre Belkor. And you have, on the other end of it, you have Emperor Palpatine, Darth Vader, and then you also have Moff Moors, who is basically, they're the opposite side of things. There really isn't any other characters that really have anything to do with it. They introduce a few here and there, but you've got the Twi'lek team led by Cham, and then there's also their Imperial connection with Dre, and you've got Moff Moors, Vader, and Palpatine. Those are the two direct sides, and basically this is about how they come together. I mean, the book tells a great story, and it could actually make like a really epic movie. As far as like the movies that they're producing now with like the offshoots from the actual Star Wars line, this could actually be one of those. It'd be very predictable, but I feel like it could actually have been a really good movie. It's darker than most other books, and it doesn't really have a mystery to it. It's more just like, here's this action type book where some people are out to do something, and you just sort of are trying to read like how they actually play all the events out. I mean, the Twi'lek team, like they hear that Vader and Palpatine are coming back to Ryloth themselves to investigate some sort of treachery or some sort of like corruption within like the actual Imperial ranks, because apparently there's problems with spice production, and so Cham and Isfal decide to use Belcor Dre to concoct a plan to basically kill Vader and Emperor. And they start off by trying to destroy an entire Star Destroyer, which that whole thing was great. Like it was a very fun read. But then it's like Vader and Emperor Palpatine, they escape to the planet, and they're basically going through on foot with a couple of the Red Guard, and they're trying to survive because they're being attacked by everybody. But oh my god, does it make it seem like Vader and Emperor are just untouchable. Like nothing can hurt them. Like they are completely invincible. There is no tension whatsoever as to believing that those characters will ever die. But yet when it gets to like Cham and Isfal and Belcor, everything that happens to them, it seems like it's on the up and up, but then eventually everything just starts falling apart for them. And basically I'm just like, how are they surviving this long? It's clear that those characters are going to die. It's just a matter of when. Which is, it's kind of sad, and that's what I was talking about. Like, you know from the very beginning that none of the characters that they're focusing on or talking about are going to make it through the end of the book. I mean, the book itself takes place over the course of what I would say is a day and a half. The main meat of it. I mean, there is more leading up to it, but like the main meat of the actual story takes place over like a day and a half. And there's like, everything just happens. It's like an episode of 24. But I don't know, like, the characters, they weren't what I would call forgettable, but they weren't necessarily important. The descriptions of Vader and Emperor Palpatine were probably the best. It definitely sets up some cool lore for them, but as far as like this book's impact on everything, it means nothing. It has like one tie to the Star Wars Rebels show, which is the animated series that Disney is doing, which is really good. I like that one. It has like a little hint to that, but this is before that even happens. I guess Cham Syndulla is Hera's father, so I don't know if that's basically like how she gets the idea to actually start her little personal rebellion, but yeah, that's that link. It doesn't really link to anything. There's lots of flashbacks for Vader. Vader's having some personal issues, I would say, and he's having some memories that are causing him to have some doubts. And then the Emperor is like consistently testing him. But you know, the Emperor, I don't know. The Emperor was portrayed probably the best. Very aloof, very cunning, very plotting. But again, like everything that was happening, you knew exactly what it was going to be. While disappointing, the book was fairly good. I don't think that I would read it again. I don't know. It was okay. I think I got it as a bargain because I bought Bloodline and another book that I'm going to start reading soon, Lost Stars, together as a bundle, and it ended up being like fairly cheap. So I thought, why not? I will say. And this is just a side note. It could be that I was just reading it incorrectly, but there was a line in the book. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Because I know that there was a typo in Bloodline, and with this one, I found a line that just didn't read right. Sorry, I had it, and then. Well, this is embarrassing. Maybe Was I just completely wrong? No. Oh, here we are. Basically, Chem and Isfal are talking, and Isfal says, "After today, we fight on different ground, and we maybe aren't the Free Ryloth movement, but we still fight." And I just think that we and maybe in that middle part of that just should be flipped, but it's beside the point. It's not like a typo. It just seems like a weird grammatical phrasing. But anyway, I did like this book. I do suggest reading it. It's a C as far as I'm concerned. It's readable, but I mean, if you can get it for like super cheap, I'd only pay like a couple bucks for this book. The book itself, you know, it retails for 10. So if you can pick it up used at like a Bookman's or something like that for like $2, do it. It's a good read because it's actually fun to see like how powerful Vader and the Emperor Palpatine are. I mean, it like is ridiculous. Like they talk about Jedis being able to do things that you just can't even believe. This sort of proves it. And I mean, they are Sith, whatever. You know, misspeak, Force users, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, I definitely only give the book a C. But yeah, if you have read this book, let me know what you think down below. If you have any questions or comments about the book to me, please, I'd like to talk about it. No one that I know has read this because, you know, it's new canon. And even though it's been out a little bit longer than Bloodline, I haven't come across anybody that's read it myself. So let me know down below what you think, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye! Hi, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think, and let me know if you like this content. Maybe I can find a way to produce more. Talk to you guys later. Bye!